Color assigned number 16, Susie Yazzie.
Honorable mention for Don.
Color assigned number 1, religious ceremony. Ooh.
Award to Jim Boyette.
Color assigned number 2, homeless beggar.
Rescore.
20.
It's a
Yeah,
rescore.
they've
Yeah, it's a rescore. Okay.
Is that it?
No. Oh, that was the right score?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh,
No, it wasn't a rescore.
No, it's the right number.
That was honorable mention for Jim Boyette.
Color assigned number 3, smoke jumpers face death. Dry West Burns.
and that's word for word. That's the title.
That's the title.
Okay.
$21.
Honorable mention for Don Poland.
Color assigned number 4, elderly suffer from record heat.
$20.
Honorable mention for Don.
Color assigned number 5, ball of the bell. A bell at the. Sorry.
Too many B's.
Then here's the Roberts judge.
No, I need to. Bell at the ball.
$23.
Award for Curtis.
Monochrome assigned number 14, herding ducks Ecuador.
$22.
Award for Don Morrow.
Monochrome assigned number 13, street protest, Iran.
$24.
Award for Don Morrow.
Monochrome assigned number 6, first learn balance.
$20.
Joe Tempo.
Monochrome assigned number 7, water flower.
Okay, that's a makeup.
Okay.
Is that a makeup?
Yeah, that's a makeup.
What was the topic? What are we making up?
There's a bomb underneath. Yeah.
The makeup
which is-
category is the
What
makeup
was the topic
category
for the
is
makeup?
This is the one where there's one color in black and white next to each other.
Okay.
oh okay
All right.
okay so that all right then we need to see both side by side. Okay, yeah, all right, there we go. All right, so all right, but we score each one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So
Right.
mhm.
So which one are we scoring first?
The first one, the black and white first.
Okay.
Listen, you need to stay out of Robert's jug.
22.
Award for Jim Boyer.
And the color one.
Reset it.
Okay.
22.
Monochrome assigned number 8, Rico Ford.
It's also a makeup.
Okay.
Okay, makeup.
This is a makeup for what?
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, same
All right,
thing.
then just
Okay.
leave that one. Just
All
leave
right.
that one there, and we'll score it, and then we'll see the other. Yeah. Sorry, I got ahead of us on that.
20. Jim
Boyer.
Color General number 17, Mashalo Harbor, Malta.
Twenty-two.
Award for Don Morrow.
Color General number 9, North Carolina Horizon.
Give me the category again.
Color
Color
chart.
General.
General.
Okay, color chart.
Twenty-three.
Award for Ray Pointer.
Who?
Ray Pointer.
Is he a member of this club?
Color General number 10, Calm Before the Storm.
Oh,
23.
rescore.
Rescore.
Restore.
Oh, ain't no problem, you Curtis. All right. Holy moly. Robert.
Okay.
22.
Still an award for Curtis.
All right. Calm down, now, Curtis. Calm down.
22.
Monochrome General number 11, Expecting.
Is that just
It's dust.
dust on the print?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wipe that No, don't do that.
Falls flat every time.
Yeah.
17.
Oh,
What? 6, 21.
No.
no. Let's see.
26. I don't have to move.
Anybody
got a calculator?
20,
26.
that'd be 27 or 26 or 27. Yeah, 26.5. I think you round up to 27.
That's an award for Don Smith.
Monochrome General number 12, Rachel.
So, 23.
Award for Don Smith.
Monochrome General number 18, End of the Road.
Let's see.
Plug. We like to thank our sponsor, Crown Hall, tonight.
23.
Award for Don Morrow.
That's it.
Wow. I am curious, Mr. Don. Why did you, how did you come up with your title, your caption?
What?
Your caption.
Well, do you see much miles left in that truck?
Okay.
Looks like the end of the road for me.
And it didn't
Yeah.
drink that much.
Right.
That's another one of those nicely processed black and whites.
Yep, a lot of clarity there.
Nice contrast. Nice tonal range.
And properly captioned.
Thank you.
We had to move the clarity slider over a little bit.
There's another piece of dust.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to ask anybody to brush that off either. But yeah, I did like that how the that moody look and lighting worked with her expression. You definitely get some emotional impact.
Now,
with that.
I have this rule, and Don, it's just me. Is that when I fade to black, I have to be able to show separation from the black, and that was my concern, because when I separate, that shows a great control of lighting. Now, let's pull up the next image, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. In all of the pertinent parts of this particular image, everything separates rather nicely in all the key areas. Where it goes off on the left-hand side of the pregnancy, had you shown the back end of it, that would need to separate. So that was my problem with the one on the right-hand side. But the one on the left-hand side, just gorgeous light separation and tonal wraparound, just really nicely done. Composition is just exquisite.
You talking about some fill light, or are you talking about a backlight?
Separate. Well, not so much as just something to separate that shoulder part from the background. See,
You mean a distinct separation?
yes, they
Gradual
separate it. There needs to be
separation?
some kind of something that separates it from the background on the right hand side. And it's one of those. It's one of those peeves of mine. Now let's just say that let's for the sake of argument, if you take that photograph on the left hand side and cross it over to the one on the right hand side and put it on the far right. In fact, flip this over. Yes. All right. Now put it on the right hand side, right there where her legs. No, flip the image over. Put it right where her legs are. No, you're going to crop into it. We're going to crop into it. Crop into it more. Come into it more. Keep it coming. Okay. Now if that had been your shot, then there would be no need for separation. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But because you include that shoulder into it, then that's where I need to see that line come in. And it just shows that a good control of light.
What are you saying? Because you can partially see that shoulder?
You want to see where it separates. I don't have to see the whole
It
shoulder, just to
separates
separate.
under her chin.
Not this shoulder.
It does
I
show.
understand, but that your black and your white separates under her chin.
It doesn't separate on the opposite side.
You lost me.
You want it later on this side.
Correct.
You
Not
want-
lighter.
You want it lighter?
No,
Gotta
not
show
lighter.
more
I
of
want
the
a
shoulder.
separation between the background and that shoulder. It's lost.
To get separation, it's
Correct.
going to have to be lighter.
No, if to get separation, it has to be lit, not lighter. Lit.
Yeah, like, oh, some kind of fast
Well,
line or
look,
something.
right, lit.
But so so actually you're requiring some visibility there.
I'm requiring some separation, not visibility.
You still have a black background.
We just do a little shade lighter around the shoulder.
You would see an outline of her shoulder.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like an eclipse.
Yes.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Put some socks on it. You change your mind. Kurt. Yep. If you bring another image in here like this and put it in the category you put it in, I'm going to have to deduct some points. We don't have a category yet for 3D. So this is in the wrong category. Okay, that'll get you guys next year.
So Robert, you're saying you like the depth in that picture?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Mhm.
No. I'm waiting on the master.
Yeah, the tonal range through that is really nice. Everything from the brightest part through to the black, and it doesn't just all of a sudden go to black in the foreground. You've got detail there with just some black right where it needs to be and everything. The only thing that would have made this possibly better for me is I like the road on the right, but the whole thing could have not necessarily been bullseye with the sun if it had been shifted over, moved the sun over to the left and bring a little bit more of that road in. Oh boy, that would have been it.
That would have been the ticket. That would have been the total ticket to that. Is that road? See, you introduce the road into the photograph, and yet you keep it over in the corner and darken. So as you introduce elements into the photograph, they need to have a way to sink into the entire image. And in this case, we have the road, we have the beautiful light. Why not emphasize the light going down that road? And I'm with you on that, Jim, because that little tree on the left-hand side. See, I can get rid of that in order to go toward
Exactly.
that
If it
road.
had been shifted over so the sun was over there, that tree was gone, a little more of the road came in, that would have been perfection on it.
There you go.
So would you prefer the sun, say, at the rule of thirds position?
In this case, it wouldn't have to go all the way over to the rule of thirds, but fairly close.
Yeah.
Almost to the rule of thirds line in this case, but probably short of the rule of thirds line, and what that would have introduced in
Yeah.
the road would have balanced.
Do you dislike it because it's not?
Oh, I don't dislike it.
Not at all.
No, I don't.
And-
I don't dislike it. I just see room for that. Oh, that this that this is good, but just missed being really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking. If the sun were like about here, that much of a shift over, bring that much more of the road in. Oh boy.
Because the road's there. If the road was not there, then
If the road is not there, yeah, then it's it's still kind of pretty bullseye, but now that the road is introduced, it's like, okay, it's there, but we've got just this much of it.
Yes, right. Just before you take that down, Don, there's separation in the dark areas. And that's what keeps this photograph.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see that.
right.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
that's what
But
keeps this
I don't
photograph.
understand why you were requiring it on the other one. Why did it need separation?
Next photograph, please.
Because he can.
You have rule of thirds and you have Robert's rule.
Yeah.
Robert's rule of separation.
This image is a little tight for me.
Yep.
A little tight on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
but it still has a nice implied diagonal going through there, and that you follow that from foreground to background, which is a very nice thing.
Now, this has a lot of impact in its color values.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I use the word impact in Don's image? It does.
Must have been the Crown Royal.
That's what holds it. That's what holds
By
it
the way,
together.
your wife's speaking.
Oh!
So busy drinking up there.
You want to?
Well, one thing right off the top of my head is I say, boy, that blue is blue. That is in-your-face blue.
Yeah, You got that right.
And,
where is that?
San Juan,
San
Puerto
Juan.
Rico.
and the fact of the processing of that, like again left, and actually it's in both of them, but the blue makes it more prominent in that one. The halo around the turret or whatever that thing on the fort is called.
The turret.
Yeah.
Now, on my part, I find that the color photograph has a lot more impact than the black and white in this case. And
It does.
understanding how in these tourist island places where they put food coloring in the water, I have no problem with the blue. In fact, I thought the one on the right had much more impact than the one on the left, which left me a little bit flat because there's nothing else going on
It is
in the
fairly
water.
flat, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of middle gray.
Yes.
That's a lot of bright blue too.
Yeah, but that's how they attract you to those places. They introduce the color.
Now, on these, were we supposed to make both of them look good?
Yes.
No, one of them should look really bad.
The intent of that was, yes, could you pick a subject and process it that would work well in both mediums, black and white and color? Was the idea
Because
being
a lot of things don't.
that's right.
That's
but
right.
but in a lot of instances, as a photographer, if you're doing assignment, you may be called on doing something, and you have to realize something you're going to do is going to be published both in black and white, in color, and you have to think about, okay, can I produce something that is going to reproduce well in both mediums? So it was kind of leading in that direction.
And how many times have we, after looking at something that we did a year or so ago, say, my God, that looked good in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
That blue had to be knocked down a lot in the black and white version of it because the blue's pretty strong. So it'd be pretty light in the gray. The black and white had to be knocked down a lot.
Generally, blue tends to be much more toward a middle gray than not. If you ever want to get a middle gray exposure, make your reading based on the sky, blue sky,
Meter off the sky.
and you'll get a 18% or close to 18% gray. So, man, I'm going to tell you, I was in love with both of these. This works a lot better than the previous image.
Yeah, this is a good example of working well both ways.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm wondering about this image on the right, about this processing. It seemed a little bit electric for me, just a tiny bit. And I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm saying that as a sense that, you know, I'm wondering how you processed it. Oh, you know, let's look at this thing about natural and unnatural. If you look at the black and white. Black and white is not natural. There's no color.
It's far from natural.
It is. I mean, completely opposite of natural. The idea is in making images is to affect the eye visually, and in both instances it does. We've seen some images in here that have been completely off the chain as far as being unnatural. Don over here has proven that. However, some work and some of them don't. So natural, I don't think that's the case here.
It's actually not that far off a natural for that flower. It's darker. The darker processing has it more saturated than what it will normally. But the whole picture is just processed darker, which has done that to that.
And I don't have a criticism with it. This is Don. I mean, not Don. This is Jim. Jim Boyette.
Yes, it is.
Jim Boyette shoot boy like this.
Well, you know when that was shot?
Don't tell me 14 years ago.
Listening to you.
Frank and I got there to the model shoot earlier,
Yes.
and we were out there shooting those flowers in the pond.
Ah.
That's where that came from.
So you and Fang were in the pond shooting, huh?
Yep.
Shooting what?
Flowers.
This was a sign.
Yeah, this goes into a sign.
It's like personal world up when he scored it.
Well,
What was the score on that one?
20. I think it's 20. I believe it's 20.
20.
Yeah. Why'd you ask about that, Don?
I just wondered why.
Joe, come on back to take your medicine. I see you walking away.
I'm gonna sit down.
Come back and take your
Notice
medicine.
he didn't dash it quite well, right?
He's going to hit the ground.
Right. Your central, for me, in this particular shot, your central point of interest happens to be the girl on the floor instead of the girl on the beam.
Well, I couldn't get rid of her.
Well, now, I'm saying that's where I'm going before I even get to the beam.
She's what gets your eye,
Right.
just based on composition and contrast.
Right.
That's where your eye goes. The girl on the beam gets lost in the background,
Very much so.
and was the vignette added post processing? Mm-hmm. Not normally done in photojournalism.
And is that
Photojournalism is not normally.
at the
It's
bottom?
more about telling the story than going for artistic.
Yeah, it's more in the in-your-face story.
Mhm.
And you're in your composition that the interruption of line between the top of the gymnast's foot and that roller door is, it's causing a problem there. Because once I get to the end, then I'm going, that line takes me back out of the page. So there needs to be some kind of separation between the two.
And the beam on the wall in the background, the vertical beam, has higher contrast than her, and your eye, that keeps pulling your eye away from the girl on the beam as well.
Absolutely.
That black
Right.
line right there. So and like I say, but you do see her, and she's looking down, but your eye just goes, like Robert says, goes to that girl under the beam.
So all things point underneath. Let me see the third guy. Yes. You know what does this, Don, is that initially when looking at this, you see a flag and you see a bunch of different tonalities of black and white. But the white part happens to be the hands across the chest, which then leads you to the story. Without a caption, I'm interested in the story. Just by itself.
Yeah, and you really do go. The guy in the forefront, your eye goes right to his hand on his chest.
Correct.
And you're like, and you really catch some emotional impact in that. And then you see that, then once you see that, then you start seeing the repetition of that with the other people. But that strong foreground guy framed under the banner, framing, and the hand on that is great.
I would have actually cropped this a little bit off of the right hand side in order to even further impact that our lead guy.
Will it have been taken too much off the bottom or the top?
No, you don't always have to crop proportionally.
Nothing
Robert,
says it has to
didn't you
be
say
8 by 10 or 8 by 12 or.
Do you want to move the crop edge farther to the right or farther to the left?
I want to move it to the left from the right.
In.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming in.
So that I can get to this guy in the front faster.
Okay.
The two guys on the right are not really helping it out. I don't say take him out completely. At least the guy at the farthest right to move him out. But the guy that's supporting the flag, we need him in there. But just that little bit gets me to that, makes the foreground guy with the hands over his heart. It makes it impact a lot quicker.
Okay. Now, when I look at it, I don't like to see feet cut off. What's your reaction?
I'm sorry, it was gas.
Was that about the weather balloon?
Well, he just got through saying, though, that it didn't have to, that wasn't really all that important.
Yeah, this is one of the cases where, in being that it is photojournalism and you get the shot that tells the story, in that case, this trumps the the artistic the feet are cut off. If you were doing portraiture or something of an artistic nature, okay,
I would dock you like yesterday.
Yeah, you get points off of that. In photojournalism, that's actually that falls so far down the list behind what you actually have going on here.
Yeah, the story is there, completely there.
Okay, well, considering that, I'd prefer raising the bottom a little bit.
If you didn't get that, so.
Yeah, I would not argue with that, being that you've got that kind of decapitation at the ankle thing going on. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah. Straight bomb.
The duck whisperer.
Much better caption.
Yeah. I have the ducks, but and this is what was it called? Herding the ducks. Yeah, herding. I had. And this guy back here is supposed to be the one that's herding the ducks, right?
That's right.
Right. But the only thing about that guy is that I have two people right there in that same spot, and then I have two more people. So I'm not quite sure as to who's doing what in this particular thing, in this particular photograph. So it's not to say that it doesn't have the story. It's just that the impact of that story is not so readily